Hello and welcome back to season 2, episode 6 of my Aston Villa career. I've been playing on FM. So, in the previous episode, we obviously completed the month of October and then had the international break for the World Cup that's scheduled this year in this season. I can tell you, France went on to win it. It was nothing special, really. Off screen, I did some contract renewals. I'm still interested in getting Tyrone Mings under a new contract, so we'll try again though. Still not want to enter it. Other than that, nothing really of note happened. Again, I can't foresee any January business unless they do decide to give me money because there's just no finances available. So as promised, we're straight back in to the Leeds game, which is on Boxing Day, which is our first game in about 2 months. And yeah, this is the team I'm going to start with. So I'm going to try and bring in some more players that were kind of on the threadbares of the squad because a lot of them have started to kick off about minutes, which I haven't really got an answer for. But this squad is quite large. It's right. It's kind of the depth of squad that I like, but it's almost also impossible. As you can see, Douglas Luiz has requested a transfer. Danny Ings has requested a loan. So that's kind of what I want to go with. I've obviously got some players that were playing well prior to the international break. We were in flying form. Let's just hope we can hit the ground running again. So apparently I've made no changes from last match, but I think that's more of a bug because I'm almost certain I've made changes because Marcus Edwards didn't play the last game, I remember, so that's not correct. But anyway, obviously Marcus Edwards just back off an injury, but I didn't rush him back. I let him have the entirety of the international break, so hopefully he's back and fit and firing because he was struggling. But I need to stick to giving him a chance, really. If I want it to work, I can't really just give him minutes here and there and expect it, you know, expect him to hit the ground running. So I'm going to try and give him some more minutes. My midfield picks itself these days. These two have been really good for me. Macau has not played as much as I thought he would because Mings has been really good, but I'm trying to give him minutes. Coutinho's again undroppable. Ings just can't get a sniff, bless him. I'd happily move him on at 30 as well for the 100 grand that he's on a week. Hopefully it's a permanent transfer and not a loan, but we'll see what happens in January. If it's permanent, I'd probably look to sign a fullback. 1-0. Scored his 5th of the season. A good start. This was the man that I initially bought to play attacking mid, but other people like Jacob Ramsey has just performed admirably in that role, and I've had Cunha on the left who's come in on loan and played really well. But again, we'll see who will return. Leeds obviously last season, it's one to remember, I think they got 3rd, which for some reason they seem to do well on this patch. I've seen in somebody else's save they got 2nd, went far off winning the league, which is just incredible, even by FM standards. But especially because Bielsa always leaves the Spurs, so it's even whilst losing Bielsa, they're still performing to this high standard on most saves. But yeah, it's just programming, I guess. I guess they just obviously thought Leeds were primed for a push into Europe on the back of last season, and it's just not happened in real life. Obviously, in real life, Bielsa was sacked and Jesse March was brought in, and now they're there with Burnley and Everton fighting to avoid relegation. But anyway, that's real life. We're talking in game now. We're at Aston Villa. Obviously, absolutely flying. Good save on Anna. Oops, that could have been a red card. I'm going to take him off because that made me nervous. Plus, it's an excuse to give John McGinn some minutes. Who again doesn't deserve to not play, but how do you fit him in with 2 midfielders? Come on, target. There's another one that I've recalled. I was obviously playing Pellegrino. Cash, Buendia. That's going to be offside, I believe. I'm thinking now I may loan Ramsey out because it's been given. Because again, although for me he can play that position to that standard, I think the lack of minutes is going to hold him back. So I think for the last 6 months of the season, I'm going to let him go out on loan, and hopefully he kills it and comes back and makes another case for starting. That's an effort by Kennedy. Seen them going a few times. Patinius can give minutes to Danny Ings. He's not cheering up a bit. Marcus Edwards, I'm going to give the 90. Defence playing well. I'm going to change it in midfield as well. I'm going to change these two positions though. Both play better in those corresponding positions, just to give them some minutes, if anything. Save. No, goal kick. I thought on and save that. But again, we've been the worst team here, and we look like we've stolen the points comprehensively. But I just cursed myself. Bamford. Oh, I really think I've spoke too soon now, and I'm incredibly nervous. But Leeds are being done dirty here. Smash and grab. Yeah, what a cross, nobody there though. Straight into the hands of Onana. Come on, Edwards. Oh, Onana again, but he's offside. I've got some really tired players back off first start in a month and a half or so. We've looked. We don't deserve that, but we've took all 3 points from Ellen Road. That's exactly the type of performance you want, really, I suppose. Win when you don't deserve to is the hallmark of champions, they say. Not that I'm getting ahead of myself. Obviously, that's a tremendous league position, but I'd be happy with anywhere. If I got European football, I'd be overjoyed. Even the Conference League, it's all about progression season by season for me. We were 10th last season after we were as low as 16th, 17th for the most part. No. Your chance has been and gone, my friend. You chose to go to Man United. But yeah, we've lost against Chelsea, Southampton and Brighton. And drew with United, winning every other game so far. So it's been a very good start, first half of the season. Cash is banned for the Everton game. That's not really a problem. Is that Everton game the cup game? No, it isn't. Is it Sheffield United or Middlesbrough got in the cup? We'll extend that, but there's no real gain to me extending Wesley's loan any further. I'd rather take the cash from. No. Okay. He's obviously struggling quite a bit. Maybe he's one to cash in on, because he's, I don't know, failed gamble, would you call it? I took a punt. His technicals are incredible, but everywhere else is just garbage. Chan? Oh, African Champions of Nations. AFCON. What it's called AFCON. When's Chan come into it? Patrick Zito. Oh, I don't know. I'm getting confused here. Onwards and upwards. Louis Barry's playing well. He always seems to play well for the 23s, but he just doesn't look like he's making the cut. I should have really took the money on Louis Barry. I was offered, but decided against it. He's going to kick off if I make him a squad player. Yeah, well, we'll see. We'll see what we get back in January. Morales has absolutely not Morales. That's because of that. Wesley, it's not Wesley Morales. Wesley's absolutely killed it in Brazil this season. He did well last season, to be fair, but I can't see me recouping anywhere near that amount. He's not going to come into my squad, especially when I've got twice the play, not twice the play, that's unfair to say, but I've got out on loan that's doing well as well in his position, Keenan Davis, who's homegrown. It just makes no sense to keep him. I might as well take the wages. They're all risk of not getting it. Yeah, there's no one really though that's jumping out to me. What that does mean though is we'll have a quick look if there's any Bosmans that will interest me. Unlikely, but you never know. We'll go to general. Tom Zebi. Obviously He's not going to be able to be signed on a Bosman. Clear, 29. Florenzi's 31. Torreira's too old. Mendes for Amati. That could be an interesting one. That's certainly one to explore, but I don't know if he'd fit into a midfield, but he certainly seems like the type of signing that you could pick up on a free and profit off. Even if he wasn't somebody who would come in and light up the team. Who's this chap? Okay, we'll look into him a little bit further. Who else we got? Steven Sessegnon. That's an interesting one. I wouldn't mind him as a backup. Keeping his options open. I could pick you up for 2 mil if I wanted. Lanzini's out of contract. That's an interesting one. Yeah, I wouldn't mind Areola. I think he'll want north of 100 grand though, which puts me off considerably. Lanzini's an interesting one. I suppose he's not really turned out to be that good. Huh, forgot he'd come from Algeciras. Gaspar's too old. There's nobody here really that's jumping out to me. Neto again for an understudy. There's not really any points. Ezequiel Ponce. It's a throwback to better days. Malik Wilkes, not for me, but he'd be a good signing for some clubs. Juan Turbe. Tom Lawrence. Be a good signing for some clubs, not for me. Tony Villa. Jonathan Perez. Yeah, it's not looking like there's anyone really here. Jordan Ayew. Oliver Burke. Peter Turbo. Jacob Brown. There's quite a few young British lads. As we're going further down this list, Rafinha. Again, a little bit old though. Bios. Danny Caballos. Again, the wage puts me off, but he could certainly somewhat come in and be an option. I can't imagine him wanting less than 100 though, which is a massive off-putting for me. I just won't pay somebody that kind of money to not really have an impact on the squad. What's Borja Mariano? Cheap. I don't think he makes a good pressing forward by the looks of that. Oh, there he is. No, he would make an okay pressing forward. Yeah, I mean, he's someone to keep an eye on. The wages are cheap. He'd be a solid understudy, if not profit. Dominic Thompson, not for me. Ryan Ledson. Tell you what would be interesting to do. I'm pretty sure it would be to narrow this down. Age. Don't want over the age of 28. Okay, what else can we do? How can we narrow this down? Could do it like this. See if this brings any I wondered why I was getting so many hits. Yeah, maybe this is something to do off camera because anyway. Yeah, okay. I certainly have highlighted that the weaker roles are the fullbacks for me. Pellegrini's coming in, he's been reasonable. Whether or not I pick him up permanently is a different question. But he's come in and done a reasonable job. But yeah, let's just get into January. I can't see this episode being the full amount of January now because I have waffled a fair bit. So I may let's just have a look what we've got coming up. So yeah, I think what we'll do, because January is massive anyway, I think we'll get these 4 games in, and then, or maybe even these 3 games in, and then we'll make this mostly about this episode mostly about the cups. Well, 2 Premier League games, an FA Cup game, and a Carabao quarter-final, and then we'll come back for the next episode for the remainder of January. Just because of the nature of it being January, I have still waffled and gone on about recruitment, despite the fact I haven't really got any money to spend at this point. But be interesting to see if I get the kind of... Right, so what I want to do here, I want to send Diaz back out on loan. Wesley I want the money for, but ideally I should have waited till the summer. But I kind of want to maximise now. I don't know, maybe I can send him somewhere for 6 months and then think about the sale in the summer, but then he's running his contract down. No, I'm quite happy to stay with top half finish. Thank you. Yeah, so Frederick got Diaz. Although he's looking incredibly useful, I am going to send him back out on loan because I want him to gain that playing time. As promised, I am going to send Jacob Ramsey out on loan for similar reasons. Just because I want him to keep that development up. So if we get them out on loan, who else came back? Wesley came back. I am going to do what I said. I'm going to try and loan Wesley out for 6 months. Duration end of season. And I can't remember who else came back. But I don't think it was... Let me just check my emails. Yeah, it was Rodrigo Amaral. We'll see if we can get him back out on loan again. Not that I'm promising anything, I don't expect anything from him. We'll see what dangling those carrots does. Okay, you can go to Japan. You go kill it in Japan. Interestingly, nobody's interested in these. That surprises me. Try this. That surprised me because he's been in good form as well. So I thought he would certainly be attracting interest. And Diaz really surprises me because he looks like a good player. Keep doing that, you're making the same mistake. You can tell I've not played this for a while. Well, he failed his Continental Pro, that's a shame. Yeah, I mean, either of those. Go and kill it for 6 months. That's fine, no issue with you going. Hopefully again he does well and I'll cash in the summer. There's no point in really cashing in at this point because I know that I'm not going to be able to spend the money on anyone significant, so. Forsby's been really good for me this season. Loving the greens. Again, time's been and gone to sign that fella. for the Everton game at this point. Looks like nobody's interested in Ramsey, which is a bit of a shame. Shame for his development. Yeah, they're all expected to get nationality, that's fine. Yep, okay. I don't think I have a second team, do I? No, but maybe that is something I should have. Okay. See who they come up with. Let's see if we can get Diaz and Ramsey to accept loans to go though, because that's another battle. Another battle in itself. He would be a good signing, but that money is ridiculous. Yeah, I can't really look past this signing. I think I can't really lose on the deal, especially for a squad player. Like, you shouldn't want too much money. He's definitely not going to agree to that. Let's be honest. Yeah, obviously restricted at the minute in terms of what I can do. That's fine. That's a shame, but it's not the end of the world. You're not interested on a free. That might be something to revisit. Doing okay in Austria. Again, I'd like to sign Areola. Well, I'd already checked that, hadn't I? Danny Ceballos. That's fine. No major issue there. Borja Real. I'm going to be cheeky with Borja Real, I'll be honest. I'm not that bothered if he doesn't accept. Don't really want to pay you more than 30 grand, to be honest. I can see him rejecting it, but at this point I'm not hugely bothered. Let's get on in with the Everton game. I think I'm going to need to make some rotations there. Just cash. I'm going to do this instead of playing Chambers. And then we will give Diaz a spot on the bench. Hopefully showing that in time he'll be a valid member of the squad. But again, ideally I want him out on loan this season because he's not going to play. Oops, I need to pause it. Right, how are we going to do it home against Everton then? Target. Yeah, definitely fullbacks for me. I mean, Cash is substandard and Target is not a Premier League starting left back in my opinion. He's improved in real life for sure, but I certainly feel, although fullback is probably one of the hardest positions to strengthen because the quality gap is quite significant. Like, according to the spreadsheet that I use, I could probably get a player that's about 81 for a left back in terms of rating, how it's worked out, but Target himself is about 78. It's not a huge improvement. That's a good start from Vitinha. Scores another one. He's been a very good signing for me. I have to thank the board for giving me the funds to do it last January, because he's certainly made a difference. And he's a large part of why we're doing as well as we are this season, because it could have gone a very different way last season. blocked. Starting to feel the benefits of playing my car. I'm quite strong in that position now because of my summer investment. Last season it was constantly Mings and Konza or nobody else, but Macau coming in just gives us that extra head, and it just allows more experienced players. So I could drop one of them and bring one of them in when required. Like currently, it's Mings, but he's not done a lot wrong to not be in the team. But yeah, it's like I've said previously, it's a nice headache to have. Buendia, that was not his best effort. Edwards again struggling to get into the game. I think Jacob Ramsey might get some game time out. If he's not on the bench, is he? Yeah, it's a hard one to balance everyone getting the minutes at the minute because Buendia and Edwards should be our best players in said positions, but they're not performing as well as they could. It's a good block that from Ben Godfrey. They're not performing as well as they could be at the minute, so it's quite a challenge. Buendia, free kick given. Free kick given. Oh, let him get an easy one though. Very easy goal to concede. Can we pull one back, Edwards? That's a poor cross again. Mings, Forsby, Konza, Forsby. That's a penalty. I think that's a penalty. Will it be given? Yes, it will be. Can we take the lead? Edwards' chance, he scored it. Oh, I was convinced he was going to miss that. He's been given a chance and he's took it, to be fair to him. Hopefully that does wonders for his confidence. But yeah, we just see if we can kick on and get a little bit of a lead here. Rather than resting on the 2-1 lead. Which, as we know, it's not a great lead. It could easily go tits up. Buendia's going to have a bit of a rest. Watkins on the right. It's to be quirky. Again, it's just about giving everyone minutes at this point. That's a good ball. Buendia scores. Will he be offside? Quite possibly. Goal given. It's a nice way to leave the pitch for him. Do the same centrally. And we will give our friend some minutes. Moranchuk playing for Everton, that's interesting. John Joe Kenny. Decore, good tackle from Cunha. Good ball. Oh, saved by Pickford. A lot more comfortable in this game at 3-1 though. Diaz has come on for the last 8 minutes or so just to give him his debut. It looks like he'll be a strong signing for us. 2 assists from the midfield from Braganza. Happy days. Another good win. Another good win. So we've come back as we finished. And we're flying at the minute. Up in second still. Yeah, I'm confident in this group of players. But Middlesbrough in the FA Cup next round, we're going to make some changes, but I am wanting to go somewhat stronger again for the Cups. Send him back to Japan. Playing in Ganch. Hopefully he does well there and at least a sale. Because he was very cheap to invest, so we'd struggle to make a loss on him. It's 68 grand. He's loan listed. I don't need any loans. I remember this time last season when I was struggling for squad depth. None of those issues this season because I'm out of transfer business. We'll just get to this Middlesbrough game and we will try and get both cup games in this episode and see how we go. Matty Cash wants a new contract, keeps asking for one. Yeah, good lad. It's going to come a time that I'm going to have to give him one. But I just don't want him to want a ridiculous pay rise. Right, what's this coming? This is just, that's fine. That's fine. Britannia can rest at home when he's cold. I don't want that spreading. He would have been rested for this Middlesbrough game anyway, so happy to do that. Dean Henderson. Don't know what that is. Yeah, so he's joined the same club, so hopefully these two kick on and play well over in Japan. He's obviously killed it back in Brazil, so I can't see why he wouldn't in Japan. But it should be a good move for him, that. He should go over there and do well. Obviously when he comes back I'll be looking at making the sale. Hoping I can make a reasonable fee from him. Right. Martinez. Do I play Forsby? Certainly want to play Tapia. Pellegrino. Chambers. We're gonna go with, well, Mings is suspended, so yeah, we will go with that. Mings had played if he weren't suspended. We're gonna start Diaz. Ramsey starts for sure. Daly starts. Yeah, so we'll go with that. Heavily rotated team, but it should still be a team capable of getting the result. It's still quite a strong team. Famous last words. Do apologise. So not much occurring so far. Very quiet start. Here we go. It's a Middlesbrough highlight though. Well intercepted. Ings. Saved by the keeper. Come on, Villa. No, he's never getting that. Interesting through ball, that. Forsby's been booked. Like I said, I'd have played Mings though if he was suspended. Goal for Middlesbrough. Come on then, Villa. Sanson, well played. Good equaliser. Opening goal of the season for him as well. He's another one that's just been on the edge of the first team. He's not really got enough minutes. He's just got better players in front of him, which is not his fault, I know, but... Alright, come on. Turn it on this second half. Watkins. That's a penalty. Go on, Martin Atkinson. You know it makes sense. Penalty awarded. Right. So, Danny Ings scores. Good stuff. Just been cutting on fresh on the left side. Can we get a third? Oh, couldn't you? Thought he'd score that. Go on, Diaz. Oh, lovely stuff from Callum Chambers though. Sanson had it on a plate and he's took full advantage. I'm giving a Canberra some minutes. Sanson on a hat trick, but he's picked up a knock. Corner to Middlesbrough. Pulled another one back for a nervy last 5 or so minutes. I think that's offside, but it's a beautiful ball if it's not. Giving it again. What a wonderful cross. That should be game, set, match. And my rotated team gets the job done. On to the Wolves game in the Carabao quarter-finals. Again, the polar opposite of last season's cup runs. Both went out in the opening round last year. This season we're into the quarter-final and the 4th round so far. Morgan Santon's got a tight 5. Acuna's too old. 89 million as well. That's bloody insane. It's Derby time. Right, what's going on? What is going on? Let me just quick look at the XG. Yeah, you can go there. Yeah, we deserve the win. Just perhaps not by the goals that we won by. Barrow versus Man United. That's the clash everyone wants to see, isn't it? Chad Rowley, killing it. Right. So it'll be much closer to my full strength team for this game, but I think we'll retain Emmy Martinez in net. See if we can get into the semi-finals of the Carabao. Keenan Davis again doing well at QPR. There'll be another in the summer that's sold to raise some more funds. Gavi would be a superb signing. Let's see if we get in the FA Cup then, shall we? So, Sunderland drew West Ham. Colchester got MK Dons or Leeds. Rotherham got Southampton. Aston Villa at home against Reading. Again, it's sort of a winnable tie. We'll take it. Hopefully get us into the next round, 5th round, if we can beat Reading. We won't waste much more time on this now. Man United, but Cambridge as Newcastle. But yeah, not much to go at though. Addons knocked out by Liverpool. But on to the Wolves game, and we'll come back for the Wolves League game. We'll end on the Carabao Cup quarter final for this episode. That's a shame because Ramsey would have been involved in this game. But he's not, so rest for him. I think that was the other one, 2 of the other quarterfinals. I think Forest and Leicester won the. What's Danny Ings were? Let's push you. Yeah, I am more than happy to take that. More than happy to take that. I'll take a 5-0 loss on Danny Ings, get him off the wage bill. I'm happy with that deal. I don't want to bring in another striker. I'm happy with the contingent I've got, but I will maybe look for one in the summer. But let's pick strongest 11. We'll let Martinez play. Gueitha on the bench. Danny Ings, because of his bid, will drop him out, and we will put Pellegrini on the bench, and we will go with this team. Yeah, I mean, I could have probably pushed for a little bit more, but I was also cautious. I didn't want him to pull out outright. I'm happy to take 25 million for him. I certainly think that's a fair deal for a 30-year-old on 100 grand a week. He's not starting for him. Coutinho's made that spot his own. I'd really hope he agrees to the contract and doesn't reject it. And we'll look to invest this 25 million in another position. I don't want to recall anyone. I'm happy with the options I've got, so I don't need to strengthen up front this season. That's another penalty. Don't have to strengthen up front this season because I'm happy with the options I've got, as Vitinha understood is. It'll likely just mean that Ollie Watkins is likely now the backup striker, which is fine for me. Edwards scored another penalty, so that's good enough. Hopefully boost his confidence again. But yeah, I'm a sucker for doing that. If someone's had a transfer bid come in, I don't play them the next game. I kind of think we should be focusing on getting the transfer deal done. Which means Danny Ings' send-off will be a penalty in the FA Cup versus Middlesbrough, but there's worse ways to go out. There's certainly worse ways to go out. Yeah, so everything going well for me at the minute. I can't fault it. Can't fault it at all. Yeah, let's try and put in a good show here. Buendia's not having the finest game. That can all change in a heartbeat though. Come on. Yeah, there we are. Vitinha of his 13th of the season. Now we'll make some changes. We will play Bailey again, and we'll put Cunha in. Buendia signs off with a goal. He's good at doing that for me. Whenever I look to sub him, we'll still make the changes, but we're now comfortable in control of this quarter final and look like we're into the semis. What I will do is I'll just rest Forsby for Douglas Luiz, give him some more minutes. But yeah, flying is the phrase I would use. Winning games, and deservedly so at the minute. Konza nicks in for another comprehensive win against the rival is what you'll love to see. Again, Branganga 2 assists. He's been a real improvement in midfield for me this season. Got a feel for Got a feel for McGinn because he's done nothing wrong, but that's the casualty of improvement. you've got to move with the times, and if you stand still, then that's what may happen. But yeah, very strong second half here. Really put the sword to them. Again, cannot ask for more from the players. Done exactly what I asked. And getting a very well-deserved result. And something to keep the boost in the fans. So I'm glad that the board and the fans have stuck with me, because it would have been easy to put me under pressure last season, because the first half of the season was not good enough. Hands down, was not good enough. I think the change in formation has certainly helped. I think the recruitment has certainly helped. Having that 50 million in the summer has really allowed me to kick on and build a strong squad capable of competing in these fronts that I currently am competing. Because every trophy I've been in so far, I've been competitive in. I'm into a cup semi, I'm into a cup 5th round, I'm into second in the league. Like, everything I've put my hand to, I've put a good show in. And again, a lot of that's down to the recruitment and being able to build the strength and depth that I have. But I think I've spoke a lot in this episode, so we will leave it here. Oh, that's an interesting place to leave it. I might take that. Because I don't think that he's developing as well as I'd hoped, and that is a chunky profit of next sale. So I think that secures us. Yeah, I think we'll go with that. So we'll leave it there. Thank you for joining me, and hopefully see you next time.